Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you are from. Appreciate you joining our webinar regarding Croatia cruising and chartering for 2022 and 23. Welcome to iWorld of Travel's Leadership Webinar Series. Today with us will be myself, Michael Gelber. I'm the CEO and Chairman of the Board, and Zahaba Baton, who is our Vice President Global Sales, as well as a focus on Middle East specialist, Alida Paljevic, Vice President Product Development, and our European specialist, and then Sally Black, who is our travel advisor ambassador, who has come on board and is ensuring that we see everything through the eyes of a travel advisor as we build our business to ensure that we do nothing but support the travel advisor and the travel advisor community. And then we're also fortunate today to have two of our partners in Croatia with the cruising, Dennis Teskera, who is a general manager, who's been in the business for 26 years, well respected, well known, has just a great reputation, and we couldn't feel any prouder than to be working with Dennis and his team, Rose, who really runs everything. Don't let Dennis kid you. Dennis is the visionary and the connection, but Rose certainly ensures that everything that Dennis's vision puts to place, as well as ours, is handled on a day-to-day basis. So we appreciate everybody being part of this. We appreciate you joining our webinar. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes just to briefly talk about iWorld of Travel, really just about 3 or 4 minutes. Shane, if we can get to the next slide. iWorld of Travel, very quickly, has been around since 1967. There's only really 2 points I want to make. One is we cover the world, we're in 80 countries, but the most important feature about iWorld of Travel is that we are the travel agent's friend, and we only work with the travel advisor community. We do not go direct to consumer. We never have, and we never will, and that's part of the legacy as we carry forward in my father, Adi Gelber's name. Next slide, please. So what we do real clearly and simply, 54 years in business. Listen, we're a tour operator, but I view us more as a luxury travel broker. We take the partnerships that we work with the travel advisors. You bring your clients and their needs to us. We have 29 global partners around the world. We put together a program of pricing. We make a commission, you make a commission. To me, that's a travel broker relationship. And with that, we also view ourselves as a marketing company that is here to support any and all the needs that the travel advisor has in doing the business. I look at it in a very simple sales 101 method. Travel advisors are out there doing all the hustle. You're doing all the work, you're grabbing all the, you're working with your clients, and you're bringing your clients to us. And so whatever we can do as a company to support you and to support your needs, whether it's in designing collateral, videos, doing presentations, that is our role. That's how we view ourselves, is that we're here to serve you like you're there to serve your clients. And again, we do a number of things, but we're an FIT company. I think everything is FIT, from luxury small group departures, closed private groups, faith-based travel and Jewish heritage, family travel, river cruising, small deluxe Croatia cruising we're talking about today, and shore excursions. We cover the world. Next slide, please. And here's where we operate. Again, the first slide is we have 3 offices in the US. That would be in New York, Florida, and Los Angeles. I don't want to mislead anybody. Those are executive suites at this stage. We're not sure if we're going to go back to full-blown office space yet. We're working on a hybrid methodology right now, so we want to be really clear and transparent with everybody. And then the orange, this is our newest brand and our DMC under Gelber's Way. We currently, and we are a proud member of USTOA as Gelber's Way as a DMC, so we can control the experience on the ground. We currently have an office in Croatia, in Israel, and we'll be opening up Peru, South Africa, and Turkey within the next 6 to 9 months. And then the next slide, you'll see that we have 29 offices through our partners and our affiliates throughout the world, so that anything and everything that we have to be able to handle, we're able to do it with boots on the ground. Listen, we all know the story that it doesn't matter until it matters. And so we make sure that we're in a position to handle any situation as it relates to your needs and or your client's needs. Next slide, please. And then real quick, how we support the travel advisors. We pay 18% commission, and I will tell you that we also will provide net rates available upon request. Again, if we're going to be all things for all travel advisors, we can do it either way. If we're going to collect the payment for you on your behalf, then we'll pay you an 18% commission. If you want to collect the payment, we'll give you a net rate. You collect the payment and you build whatever margins that you want on it. If you go through us on FITs, it's only a $180 deposit. It secures the booking, fully cancelable and refundable up until 90 days out, at which point the deposit needs to be raised to $500, and then we do pay commission on deposit within 72 hours. I come from the old sales mentality, which is if I create money and it's not going back to the client, then you as a travel advisor should get your portion of that commission at that point, and we are consistent with that. We've been doing that since 2018. We are, again, we have a dedicated advisor marketing department. We want you to look at our marketing department as your marketing department. Anything and everything. We have an office in Croatia with Ante. We have an office in California with Shane. We're available around the clock for designing collateral, assets, flyers, e-brochures, whatever it is you need. We want to be there for you. We will do it. We also have an extensive video library, which provides great amount of destination education and webinars, product and marketing training, tremendous support. Our website is advisor-only website and e-newsletters. And again, we do not go direct to consumers, and we never will. We have our global partners. We go through an extensive vetting process. These just aren't operators or suppliers that we just choose. We vet them. We have a 3-page document that we make them fill out ahead of time. We want to know if it's their employees, contractors, how often they check on their certifications, hotels, how often inspections, their cars, not their cars, inspections, drivers, guides. We check it all up front. Our philosophy is real simple. It's better to prepare rather than having to repair. And we really look at all of our partners globally as friends and family. And we also brought on Sally Black as our travel advisor ambassador, because real simply, if we're going to create a program and a company that's geared towards supporting the travel advisor community, it would make sense for us to look at it through the eyes of a travel advisor, a successful travel advisor that's been doing this for 25 years. And there you go. That's the quick why and FYI about us. Next slide, please. At this stage, what I'm going to do, we're going to show a video on Croatia, and right after this, we'll pass it on to Alita.
Come along with us over the rainbow and see Croatia in all its colors. The aqua waters of the Adriatic, the chartreuse countryside of fertile farmland, the red clay rooftops of historic cities with the rows of yellow sunflowers reaching for the sky. Orange trees glistening with dew, bushels of lavender scenting the air, white stone ruins dotting the landscape, and crystal waterfalls cascading down cliffsides and the bubblegum pink sunset sparkling in the sea. You'll discover that one of the sunniest spots in Europe, with 1,400 islands, is also one of the most playful. From the simple pleasures like having a coffee outdoors and wandering the open-air markets, to taking in the lively music scene, spending an afternoon wine tasting, playing in Plitvice National Park, meandering through medieval castles, basking on the beach at the Golden Cape, or kayaking through the fairy tale scenery. This is a country full of life and vigor, and full of scrumptious flavors. A main ingredient of the local cuisine is the unabashed joy of feasting. Zagreb, the city of museums with the most per capita of anywhere in Europe, overflowed with stories of past and a rich culture delightfully absorbed. Gape at the Stone Gate, originally built in the 13th century, and the landmark St. Mark's Church. Step back in time 1,700 years and Split at the site of the Roman Emperor's summer palace. Get a thrill from the mighty walls of Dubrovnik, viewed from above via cable car or from a sunset cruise aboard a magnificent ship. Stroll the streets of the fortress city and listen for the whispered 7th-century-old secrets of this UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of 10 in the country. Croatia is an enchanted land, a land inherited from generations of farmers, sailors, fishermen, shipbuilders, and winemakers, a land that will lift you up and carry your spirit skyward. Our custom trips are drawn from a menu of enticing experiences with something interesting for everyone. This is Michael Gelber, CEO of iWorld of Travel, inviting you to experience another memories beyond destination. iWorld of Travel. Expect more. Do more.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm impressed that I said Plitvice Lake. Aren't you, Alita? So, like I'm
You did
a
a
local.
wonderful job.
I'm a local. Anyways, that video we did with great pride, and we have a tremendous amount of assets and videos available for you to use in your marketing as well, that we can customize the brand on the backside. So at this stage, let me introduce you to Alita Poljavec. Alita has been doing this for quite some time. She's a seasoned professional, well-versed, not only knows the Eastern European region, but also clearly Croatia is from Croatia. Hvar is her homeland, where their family still has a home that's 340 years old. Really impressive. So I'm going to turn it over to Alita, and she's going to share with you the experience of how to book the charters and what our charters provide. So there you go, Alita, it's all you.
Thank you, Michael. And hello, everyone. I'm so excited. I see so many people that I know there. And I want to tell everyone who joined today, thank you so much. I'm really, really proud and happy to be able to present about our beautiful 3 ships and all the options that you guys have with chartering them or selling into cabins as well. So Shane, we can go with the first slide. So here they are, our 4 beauties. I will not tell you which one is my favorite because it is impossible for me to say. But each one of the ships that we have is a bit different, and just one sentence for everyone. And this is inspired by our CEO, Michael Gelber. We say for the Adriatic King is bling, and it's really a sparkling yacht. Then we have the Adriatic Queen, and I will tell you one thing about it. You will not be hungry on this ship because the chef Milos will take care of you. Then we have the Bella, the Beauty, the only licensed official green ship in the Adriatic. It is different, it is special, it's very, very nice. And then the Lastavica. The Lastavica was a home for me and for another 33 people during our recent FAM in the end of September, beginning of October. And Lastavica is really what I said, it's a home. It makes everybody feel so comfortable and so nice. So each one of the ships has its own story. The crew of each one of the ships, it's a match to the ship itself. And it's a special thing. To choose the ship, you need to know your clients. and we are there to help you and give you all the information that you need. We can start to explore our routes now with the next slide, please. So here we have just a list for you to understand. I already gave you the overview of our 4 ships. I want to tell you also give you an overview on all of the routes that we have. Each of the routes has a code to make it easier for you and for us to be sure which one we are booking, which one you want. And right there you have it as the 100th route, AST 100, goes from Split and goes through Dubrovnik and comes back to Split. This is a beautiful route. You will see it a little bit later with the separate slides. I will show you physically how it looks, the route. Then we have our most popular route until now, the AST 150, that starts in Split and ends in Dubrovnik. The very next week, that ship usually then sails the other way around, from Split to Dubrovnik. One of my favorite routes is the route AST 200. It starts from Zadar, ends in Dubrovnik, and also vice versa. 210 starts in Dubrovnik and ends in Zadar. Please go back to the list. Thank you. And the longest route, the AST 300, is the longest route and starts from Rijeka, ends in Dubrovnik, and also vice versa, starts in Dubrovnik and ends in Rijeka. This slide is maybe a little bit, no pictures or anything. It's important, guys, for you, because when you're selling a cruise, these are the airports, right? The starting and ending points. So whichever route you choose, you will be flying your clients into the starting port and fly them out from the end port. And this is, of course, if we are not doing any pre and post tours, but a little bit more about it later. Now I will show you just a graphical representation of the tours with the next slide, please, Shane. All right, so this is our 100 tour, 100 route that starts from Split and ends in Dubrovnik. What I personally love about this route and what makes this route different from the others is the stop in the island of Vis. The island of Vis is one of the most far out islands in the Adriatic Sea. It has been closed for over 40 years during the socialism regime and the Yugoslavia, because they had some naval facilities there, so nobody was allowed to get there. With that, Vis was saved from a lot of, becoming touristically popular, and it's a very authentic island to visit. And of course, on the route, many other interesting and beautiful ports, such as Hvar, Mljet, which is a national park with two beautiful salty lakes. Of course, the Pearl of the Adriatic, Dubrovnik, which is part of every single route that we operate. And then from there to Korčula, the hometown of the famous explorer Marco Polo. From there back to Hvar. And what I love about this route is that you have 2 stops in Hvar. The first time is in the city of Hvar, on the southern part of the island, and the second time is in Starigrad. Starigrad, if you would translate that name literally into English, that would mean old town. And Starigrad is the second oldest town in Dalmatia, and it is very interesting and very authentic, less touristy and very special. From there, the last stop is Bol, the famous and beautiful beach called the Golden Horn or the Golden Cape, which is also a very, very special place. And from there, we go back to Split, 1700, beautiful, marvelous city. It is convenient with this route that if you're doing just the cruise, you can fly your clients in and out of Split. Split is the most frequent airport in Croatia, especially during the summer months. It is fairly easy to find connections into Split. We can go on the next route, please. All our other routes are one-way routes, which means that it starts from one port and ends into a different port. And this is our AST 150 route. It is gorgeous. And what I love about this route is that from Split, it goes to Trogir. Trogir is whoever was on our fam. I remember returning on the ship, every single agent was, oh my God, this is beautiful. It is a very special town. It is UNESCO protected. From there, Bol, the Golden Cape, and then Hvar, the island that I mentioned before with Vis, and from there to Korčula, Mljet, the beautiful island of Šipan for swimming stop, and then to Dubrovnik. And they end in Dubrovnik. Next route, please. The next route goes the other way around. It starts in Dubrovnik and it ends in Split, doing the exact same ports on the way. What is great about both of these routes and many other ones that I will present in a few minutes is that you have Dubrovnik. United has already announced, and I do believe that Delta will do the same. I'm sure you guys know that this summer, both United and Delta had direct flights into Dubrovnik. So this is, of course, a big plus to make it easier for you to sell into here. I will tell you what I believe is the best way to do it in terms of the flights. If you guys are using the direct flights with Dubrovnik, it is very convenient when the cruise starts or ends there. We can go on the next, please. All right, so this one is a little bit longer, right? This route shows you the majority, really the nicest parts of Middle and South Dalmatia. It starts from Zadar and it goes into the Kornati National Park and with an overnight in Telaščica, the Telaščica Nature Park. It's a very special area. So I will describe it to you this way. Legend says when God was creating earth, he had a lot of little stones left in his hand. He didn't know what to do with them, so he threw them into the Adriatic Sea. And he looked at that afterwards and he said, okay, this is just perfect. And that is what it is. The Kornati National Park is a group of small islands that are just gorgeous. So I recommend if you ever do this route, get up early that morning because you want to see that scenery. From the Telaščica and sailing through the Kornati National Park, the next port is Šibenik. And this is an awesome port because from here there is the sightseeing that is organized to go and explore the Krka National Park, which is a beautiful river with waterfalls. But the nature is beautiful, but that's not the only thing about this place because there is also a lot of history to find out about. The next port from there is the beautiful Trogir. And from Trogir on, it's pretty much the same route that you have already seen from AST 150 and 160. So that's always Split, Bol, Hvar, Korčula, Mljet, and Dubrovnik. I do have to mention, guys, that, you know, in every single port, there is an organized sightseeing where we include a licensed local guide to take the group for about an hour and a half, depends in which port we are. We include also, of course, the entrance fees, because we feel it's very important that they have an orientational idea of the place, as well as find out about the history, plus, you know, places to go eat and things like that. We can go to the next slide, thank you. All right, so same thing, like I mentioned, 1 week, the route that we just saw from AST 200, starting in Zadar and ending in Dubrovnik. This is the other way around. It starts in Dubrovnik and it ends in Zadar. So the first night will be in Dubrovnik, while the last night here will be in the Kornati and Telaščica Nature Park and will end in Zadar on a Saturday morning. We can go to the next. All right, guys. So this is the longest route. Only one ship does this route, and that's the Adriatic King, the Bling, the sparkling yacht. This route is performed on the beginning of the season and on the end of the season. This is a route that is great to combine with land. And this is a route that is really great for the people who don't care that much, let's say, about the swimming, okay? Because in all of the routes that we saw until now, you will have plenty of swim stops, right? Because these cruises are not all about sightseeing. Of course, there is sightseeing in every port, but there is also a lot of leisure time. There is a lot of time for the clients to go and do whatever they want to do in the port. And as well during the swim stops. The swim stops happen in the most beautiful bays that are not even accessible any other way than by ship, by small ship. So on this specific route, the AST 300, here we have a little bit different situation. There will still be some time to do a stop, swim stop. If anyone wants to jump in the sea in May, I know that I wouldn't because the Adriatic Sea is pretty cold during the winter, and then it takes several months of warm weather and sun for the Adriatic Sea to heat up. So there is more chance that they will be swimming if they sail this route in October than if they sail this route in early May or the end of April. But the main way to sell this route is for the people who are really interested in both seeing the heritage, the history, and also the beautiful natural sites. So this is the route that is much more focused on the exploring and sightseeing. And of course, this is also the most expensive, sort of speak, route. Of course, is the longest. It takes the most gas. It has the most entrance fees. It has the most guides and all of that. So obviously, it's the most pricey. But this one is really for the people who want to see as much as they can, because as you can see from this graphic representation, they literally, you see the whole coast. And in a couple of minutes, I will also tell you how this route, as well as other routes, can be combined with land programs. Let's go to the next, please. So 1 week, the Adriatic King sails from Rijeka to Dubrovnik, and obviously the next week, start in Dubrovnik, same exact route, same exact stops, just the other way around, and ends in Rijeka. A lot of ports, a lot of sightseeing, and really an amazing, amazing experience. Now, we are already on the next slide, and I want to tell you something, guys. This is so important. You know why? Because this is your opportunity to make more money, right? Because selling a cruise, if you ask me, it's an easy sell, right? It's an easy sell. Whether you're chartering the whole thing, and Michael will talk a little bit more about that after me, whether you're just selling a cabin or a couple of cabins on a departure, on our departure, you have a huge opportunity to do an upsell, to sell them also land programs. Okay, I requested from our marketing department to do this a lovely map for you to understand the countries that are surrounding Croatia. You can see here the whole length of Italy. It's approximately the same length from Albania all the way to Slovenia. Okay, just to give you an idea of how big the area is. And let me tell you something. If we do for you the longest route that starts from Rijeka, you can start the program, let's say, in Milano. I, in fact, have this itinerary already ready because I'm a little bit obsessed about the combining Croatia with Italy and Slovenia. So let's say they start in Milan, they do a little bit of the northern Italy, the lakes region. We can have them sleep in Sirmione or even in Lake Como, and then from there go Verona, Padova, Venice, and of course stay in Venice for a day, and then on to Slovenia. There is a marvelous cave, Postojna cave, to visit in Slovenia, and then maybe spend an overnight in the Slovenian coast, Piran, for example, beautiful hotels and resorts. And then from there, we do a day tour around Istria. Istria is this little peninsula here that is bordering with Slovenia, which is really a special region. If you have any clients who enjoy good food, they have outstanding cuisine, really, really outstanding. A mix of really good Croatian produce with Italian influence in the cuisine. It's really something special. And then from there, they sit on a cruise for 7 days and they go all the way down to Dubrovnik. Imagine that package. Isn't that something really, really special? Yes, of course, you need 2 weeks for that. Will that package be something that will be really, really affordable? No, it will be a high, very high value for money. That is the sale point there. So that is just to give you an idea. For the shorter routes, and we can do a lot of combinations for the land. And I want to say it one more time to stress out, this can be done for a group, like a group program on a small coach or on a large coach, but this can also be done for individuals. As Michael told you in the beginning, we are an FIT company, right? And that is our main core business. So we can set this up for 1 passenger or for 2 or for 32. It doesn't matter at all. Just a few ideas. You can see them here listed. If they're starting from Zadar, Rijeka, or Split and want to focus on Croatia, I always say it is never enough to see just one side of Croatia, because Croatia has 2 beautiful sides. If you only see the coast and the islands, you will have a partial experience of the country. Croatia has 2 faces, also a green continental face that we can really easily incorporate into the cruise as a pre or a post land program. And if you remember, I mentioned that you have direct flights into Dubrovnik. Now, let me tell you this. You can fly your clients in and out of Dubrovnik, okay, and take advantage of that direct. And the price was also not so bad. It was an okay priced flight. And then from Dubrovnik to the capital city, Zagreb, on a daily basis, you have flights that are between $50 and $100 one way per person. And it's a 45 minutes flight, and they get in Zagreb. We start the program with Zagreb, the capital city. And then we can have 2 or 3 overnights in Zagreb and take them also to the Zagorje region. That is something that people often don't know about, right? It's a wonderful region with castles, with vineyards, with a beautiful, beautiful nature. That can be a day tour, right? And they can sleep in Zagreb. And then from Zagreb, we go to the Plitvice Lakes National Park, which is a UNESCO World Natural Site. I'm sure you guys know it. And Michael had a very good pronunciation. I challenge everyone here in the webinar to learn how to say Plitvice Lakes. I always suggest having an overnight there. You have to know that in Plitvice Lakes, the hotels that are available are limited. I always recommend one hotel there that is within the park. We have really good relationships with them. We had our FAM group there as well. It is called Hotel Jezero. And of course, it will be part of your pre-tour. Why I believe it's so important to sleep in Plitvice Lakes, because when you wake up in the morning, and especially if you have clients that appreciate nature, wake up early, they can have a second view of the lakes, because it is impossible to see both the lower and the upper lakes in one day. So that's the main reason why. But it can be also done without the overnight. They can just stop on the way from Zagreb, whether they're going to Rijeka, Zadar, or Split. It doesn't really matter. And then from there, of course, they will go to the port from where the cruise begins. And I could talk about this for hours. Feel free to reach out to me, because there are countless possibilities. Another one that I want to really quickly mention as a possibility of a pre or a post is a combination with Slovenia and Croatia. And I believe it's so special, guys. All of these countries that you can see there, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Albania, North Macedonia, Kosovo, and Serbia. Those are countries of the ex-Yugoslavia. I can tell you they're very, very affordable, right? Let's say you end the cruise in Dubrovnik. We can easily add on 3, 4, 5, or even a week of touring around the Balkans. That will be a great value for money in terms of prices. So I think I stayed a long time on this land talk. But I really wanted to stress out that additional opportunity. If you are strong to sell and charter a ship, then you should also upsell. You can make it as an optional extension, or you can include it together and have land and cruise program offered to start with. It will be up to you. And of course, we are very flexible and there for you to facilitate anything that you decide. And I'm not sure if this is my last slide or not. I could talk about it for hours.
I think we go next to the ship. So let's go to the next slide and just
go the yes. Okay, so I did a quick overview about the ships. Here, what I want to show you and tell you is how this is the exact same layout that you will find in our brochure. And we can really just run through it, because this is an important slide. Here, you will see. Each ship in our brochure has this page, this exact same page, where you have a little deck plan to see how the cabins look on which deck. You also have the year of construction, the length and the width of the ship. You have the number of cabin, the total capacity, how fast the ship can sail, and as well as all the amenities that are on the ship. For instance, the Adriatic King has a swimming pool and a jacuzzi, a sauna on the sun deck, and also sunbeds, of course, a fitness room, and so on and so forth. In the cabins, what is in the cabins? The AC, the LCD TV, the free Wi-Fi on board, and similar. So for each and every ship, you will find this information in our brochure. Can we go on the next, please? All right, so also very important, for each ship, you will have a page that will give you information about the crew on board, right? Who are the people who are going to take care of your clients? That is very important, almost just as important as the ship that you are choosing. We can go to the next one, please. And then obviously you will have a couple of pictures of the exterior, and also on the next slide, you will be able to see the cabins, the different types of cabins. And I will just comment here that the large picture is a main deck cabin with big windows. One of the two can be opened. On the lower deck, you still can open your windows, but they're smaller, they're portholes. I think it's important to know that there is no cabins underwater, okay? On any of the ships, all of the cabins are above waterline, okay? So most of the people always want to have the main deck first. I just want to tell you that normally the lower decks are a little bit quieter and the cabins tend to be a little bit larger on the lower deck. We can go on the next one, please. And these are the bathrooms. We believe it's very important to show you the size of the bathrooms on the ships. They're very, very nice and very common. We can go to the next. And then you have the salon where your clients will be dining. There is a little sitting area as well where they can relax on the inside. And of course, the lounge area, which is normally in the rear part of the ship. We can go to the next one. All right, and the next one is the Adriatic Queen. So I don't want to lose a lot of time, so we will just go through the slides as there is the exact same description and exact same system for every ship. You have the crew, the cabins, the bathrooms, the outside spaces, the salon. And here I have to remind you that we have a very special chef on the ship Adriatic Queen. And next, the ship Bella, same system. We can go on the next. It's a green ship. Here you have the size, the number of passengers they can get, some outdoor spaces, the pool, the cabins. Bella also has 2 VIP cabins. It's a little bit, it's special. It has a very, very nice feel. The ship is one of my favorite ships, really, and they care a lot about the environment. And here is the Lastavica. Lastavica will always have a, since we had a really successful and beautiful fam on the Lastavica, the ship is very, very comfortable, really. And the crew was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. They made our trip so much better. The salon and the outside area, we had dinner outside as well. And you can go back one slide because this is Michael and I just want to tell them something before I finish. So guys, I want to tell you, thank you for listening to me. I know that sometimes I can be long and sometimes I feel like I forgot to say certain things, but I just wanted to tell you I'm here for you. Email me, get in touch with me if you have any questions. These ships, the way that you can sell them, whether you are selling the charter, your own charter, right? Or you're maybe, Michael will say a little bit more about it after December 1st. We will also open cabin sales where you guys will be able to sell into our departure dates. The main way to sell this, if I could only tell you how many FIT requests I have converted into cruises, because when they understand, when your clients understand how relaxing this may be, while still seeing so much of Croatia, right? It's like being on a tour and seeing a different place every day, but without the moving around from hotel to hotel. And yes, I know that every cruise is like that. This is not every cruise. This is not a night cruise. On a big ships, if you guys sell big cruise lines, you always sail during the night, right? And then you have stops in the port for a couple of hours, quick sightseeing, and then you have to leave. Here, after the sightseeing, they are free, right? They can go on their own. They can see sights on their own. They can go for their own dinner. They can go swimming. They can party all night in a club if they want, as long as they're back on the ship by 7 a.m., because that is the time when the ships depart. So basically, the ships are docked in port. They can get off and on the ship as many times as they want. There is no process around that whatsoever. Like, you know, they have processes to get on board and off board the ship on big cruise lines. This is not the case here. The case here is freedom. They're free. They're free to enjoy every single port where they stay. And with that, I hope that I inspired you, and I hope that I made you think of your clients who would appreciate this kind of travel. And I hope that I have inspired you to be able to sell Croatia. And if you need help for anything, please just reach out to us. We are all here for you. And once more, thank you for listening to me. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. And I'm done. Over and out. Love you. Bye.
All right, terrific. Thank you, Alita. That was great. Super great, actually. And I think very
Thank you.
informative for everybody. I saw something pop up about a FAM. We are looking at doing another FAM next year. When we get to that, we will certainly announce it. We typically, as a company, do between 6 to 8 a year. Very specific. We typically limit it to a certain size group for featuring a destination or a particular product. Let's go to the next slide, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can price it. So as Alita mentioned, we're not going to go to cabin sales until after December 1, based on the remaining ships. Right now, we have about 72 departures that are lined up between the King, the Queen, and the Bella. And then we also have the Lastavica that we have access to, so probably closer to about 84 departure dates. We're about a third, if not half, almost half of the way of securing quite a few of them. So I want to talk a little bit about the financial model. We really feel our goal is to create this partnership with the travel advisors so that you can go and charter a full ship. Like we had many travel advisors. One of them we had to take 4 on a date. I want to kind of show you how the pricing works and how you can price it yourself and what your margins are. So this is just an example. At the top, you'll see that if the ship costs $60,000. Now we have ships, depending upon the time of the year that it departs, whether it's low season, mid, high season, it can go anywhere from, let's say $45,000, $48,000 up to $68,000. But I just wanted to pick, I used the King as an example. I'm just going to choose an average fee charter. This is your net charter rate for you as the advisor. Let's say 60,000, 20 cabins. Net cost per cabin is 3,000. Net cost per person is 1,500. And again, these are just the model to kind of show you how it works. We require 15% down payment deposit to secure the ship. And so on 60,000, that would be $9,000. And I wanted to show you what that equated to. Most of the advisors that I've been working with request anywhere from a $400 to $500 deposit to secure the booking. So if you look at $500 deposit, you're only looking at 18 guests, basically 9 cabins. To get to your deposit amount. Again, if we're going to focus on helping you understand your cash flow, and so minimize your risk, we want to kind of show you the big picture of how this goes about. Now, I gave you 3 different levels of markup. I can tell you that I've had some advisors that have gone higher than the 70%, but I just wanted to throw in there a 50%, 60%, and a 70% markup. And I based it on 18 cabins, 36 guests, to allow you 2 cabins to be able to do as you wish. A number of the advisors are traveling with their clients, so they hold two cabins for themselves, or maybe you just need one for yourself and you want to incentivize one of your other team members to have a cabin. So I base everything on 90%, so 10% being held for your own personal inventory, 36 guests. And based on the markup of A, B, or C, whether it's 50, 60, or 70%, you'll see what the profit potential is for you, 21,000, 26, or 31,000. And that equates to below that either a 26% margin, 30%, or 30%, 34% commission margin. That's with also holding 2 cabins for yourself. If you only sold out 85%. So now we're looking at 10% less, 15%, 25% less, only 30 cabins. You're still going to make anywhere from 12% to 26 to 23% on your commissions. That's with you traveling and holding two cabins for yourself. Profit per person, I just broke it down there on that line. And then the break even. So where's your risk? This is really an important factor. So how many cabins do you need to sell out of these 20 that you have in order to break even? Obviously on Model C, it's only 12 cabins, and then everything else is your margin after that. So it's very, very low risk if you do it if you price it in a way that makes sense and realistic. The 15% deposit is on signing, And then what we talk to advisors, what many advisors are doing is that they're allowing their deposit to be refundable up to 120 days out. Because at 120 days out, then you would then owe 45% balance, 45% of the balance to be paid to us. At this point, what it provides you is a 30-day window. If you had a couple of clients that decided that they weren't going to go through with it, now you've got 30 days to be able to fill those cabins out and get to whatever capacity you have. And then the final payment for us is due 90 days out, and it protects you on all fronts. I'm sure we'll have some questions about this at the end. We're almost at the end of the presentation.
Michael,
Yes.
hi. Hello, everyone. This is Sally Black. Hello and welcome. And I just wanted to jump in with one last thing here when we talk
Go
about the
back to the other
pricing.
slide, please. Yeah.
Michael, can you go over what's actually included? Because one of the things that iWorld does really well is they make it an inclusive pricing. They don't nickel and dime you and your clients later on. So could you go over and review what these prices include when they actually do a charter? Just a quick overview.
Yeah, so that's a good point, or you could do it as well. But it includes the transfers from either the airport to the ship or from the hotel for the ship, and also return afterwards from the ship to the airport or to the hotel. It includes half boarding, so you've got your breakfast, your lunch are included. You've also got 2 dinners that are included. You've got your reception dinner, and then you've got your captain's dinner. I will also tell you, as you charter the entire ship, we have some flexibility to provide a variety of menus. You know, with the American market, typically you want lighter lunches, heavier breakfast, and then dinners, of course, you're open to it as well. Then it also includes your sightseeing and your whispers. So for every port you go into, as Alita mentioned, there's an hour, hour and a half, 2-hour walking tour. Occasionally it's a bus taking you into a particular location to be able to experience that. So all of that is included. It's completely turnkey that you have available. One of the questions I saw that just popped up about the 15%, is it refundable? No, so the 15% deposit is non-refundable deposit to pull that sailing date off of the calendar available. But here's another thing I will tell you that we do to support that. And you can have, everybody can kind of come on with your, unmute yourselves, Zahaba, Alita, Sally, Dennis, and Rose. What we can do is you can put a soft hold on a date, which we've had a couple of advisors do this. So let's say you wanted to put a soft hold on July 2nd. Let's just use that as the date. We'll let you hold it for a week. We'll also assist you with creating some collateral, whether it's for social media, whether it's a flyer, customized assets for you to go to market over that week to really kind of see your interest and kind of give you the assurance that you need that you're going to have at least, as I put on there, 9 cabins that you know people are willing to put deposits on that will cover your initial 15% deposit and kind of protect you. So that's kind of the way that we can support you. Listen, we look at this as a partnership. This isn't just what's good for us and not good for you. We want to make sure it's all good for everybody. You know, you guys are out there getting the sales. We're providing the back end, the ship, the services, you know, the collateral, the marketing, the contracts. So whatever we can do to ensure that this is a mutually satisfying relationship, that's what we're doing. But again, in order to pull the ship off the calendar, we have to have the 15% non-refundable deposit. But that's how we support that. So I guess, Sally, unless there's anything else you want to add, I think at this point, Shane, why don't we pull up any questions, and whether they're in the chat or in the Q&A, and we'll make sure to address those before we get out. And again, I think there was a question about recording. We will send the recording out to you probably within the next 48 hours. We get it back. We go through and edit it to make sure it's got everything in there that it should be, and so on. So I see a question about vaccines mandated. I can tell you the cruising, all of the staff on the cruise are vaccinated. Croatia currently does not require a vaccinated to be there. You just have a negative PCR test, but being vaccinated gets you in very simple. And then of course, coming back to the US, you have to have a negative PCR test, but there's a lot of easy access to do that. With all you need is a negative rapid antigen test. You don't need a PCR test to come back into the United States, as everybody on our fam trip found out. And also there's some other options while we're talking about that. You can get these packets of 6. We had a number of the agents that are on our fam that order the packet, and then you do a telemedic visit while they watch you, swab yourself, put it in, have the timer go, and then you get the final documentation there as well. So we can provide you all those resources and tools as well for traveling. So Shane, go ahead and hit us up with whatever questions are on there so one of us can answer, or any of the team members.
Yeah, as we've been going, Sally has been answering a lot of the questions that came up in the Q&A, but if anyone has anything they'd specifically like answered, feel free to drop it in there. I'm going to go through and read some of the questions from the chat though. How far in advance do you recommend chartering a ship at this point for 2023, or still opportunities for 2022?
Well, I will tell you, there are still opportunities for 2022. And here's the beauty of 2022 is that one of the things that we didn't realize as we were entering into this is that many of the ships that have been out there historically doing the cruising are fully booked because they've done their rebookings for 20 and 21 into 22. So we're in this really enviable position to have one of the few companies out there that have space available on ships for chartering. As I mentioned early on, we're about a third to probably about 40-45% of our available dates are being taken or have a hold on them already. So this is a great opportunity. We've even had tour operators that have reached out to us looking for ships. That's how much demand there is for it. And Croatia is really an amazing destination. I think it's one of the best kept secrets out there. As I've said to many that I've spoken to about my visit to Croatia that I fell in love with, and of course, we have an office there. I think it was almost a disservice to Croatia to push them because of the Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones kind of overshadowed what the real beauty and the cultural experience and the access that you can have with not only the people, but the history, the architecture. You got up to 1,400 islands. I mean, every single one of them. We went into port, I can tell you, from Split to Hvar to Dubrovnik, Miet. It was, on the surface, you think they look the same as you're pulling up, red tiled covered buildings and, old architecture and fortresses, but each one is unique within itself. It was really just beautiful destination. And when we're in Dubrovnik, it did sadden me a little bit to see how much Game of Thrones was really pushed and highlighted there. But the history for Croatia, historical from the Venetian times. Remember, there's a lot of Venetian history and influence that came down over the years. I know that Croatia is trying to separate from that, but when you look at the architecture, the history that's taken over, it's a beautiful site. Anybody who's into history at any level, is into architecture, is into gastronomy, whether it's food and the wines that they develop there, the olive oils. It's really a destination that should be brought up to someone's bucket list. And we're going to push it as hard as any other destination.
The food, Michael, I have to say, both on board and even in the port cities that we visited, I mean, it was like we were catching fish off the back of the ship and having fresh calamari snacks. Like, I mean, the food is that fresh to table every day, prepared exquisitely. The food was outstanding. And one thing to make note of when they say that, breakfast and lunch is included, please know that in Croatia, lunch is their biggest meal of the day. So that's several courses. So when your clients are in port, most of us were so full, we'd grab a little pasta or maybe a pizza or something like that in port because they filled us up. Like, the food was amazing. One of the other questions that we've been getting repeatedly is the season of Croatia. So the season generally runs from April to October, with the high season over the summer, July and August, where it can get warm, very hot. But we went at the end of September. The weather gods were with us. We were all swimming. It was, let's just say, refreshing. It wasn't cold, but you could still swim, and the water was gorgeous. You'd look down and see to the bottom 30 feet, easy, beautiful. Yeah. So the season runs from, spring, April, May to October. I believe the nonstop flights that Alita mentioned generally run from May to the beginning of October. So that's pretty much high season for Croatia. I would suggest that if you have people who are more keen on sightseeing, to go in the shoulder seasons, go April or go like in September, because it won't be as hot. I know Alita, we had Zoom meetings over the summer and she was really sweltering. It can get really warm there. So if you like more swimming, go high season. If you like more sightseeing, suggest the shoulder seasons.
Yeah, and you can do it on either one, because when you charter the ship, remember this, the only thing that's an absolute is where you start and where you end. So the beauty of the charter, yeah, we have these ports that are stopping, we can go there, we can stay there, but you can really dictate a little bit more when you have the full charter on the ship yourself. And again, one of the reasons why we put the Rijeka, Dubrovnik, Rijeka on the beginning and the end of the season is because, as Sally was saying, the water is probably not as inviting for people. Listen, I thought it was perfect, but may not be as inviting for everybody. So that again is on the King, and the King is the fastest and the longest ship that can actually take the full route and make it a real specific sightseeing versus a water stop from the north to the south. So a great opportunity to capitalize off of Italy and pop over there to Rijeka, take the ferry across. You could take a 2.5-hour transfer and really be able to have as many touch points as possible as you're going down the Croatian coastline. Other questions?
There was questions about the availability of the information from this. We'll be sending the video out here, and it will also be on demand after the webinar is over. And then most of the information from this is directly available in the brochure on the website. So if you just go to iworldoftravel.com, you'll see you can go to the brochures and videos section and get all the destination marketing videos, all of the previous webinars and trainings, as well as the brochure that details all of the ships and their sizes and all the real deep down details that you really want for each of the ships.
And
One thing
Michael, there was a question if we have any collateral for social media.
Yes.
And I think that we have to mention the excellent selection of videos to different destinations in the world that one can easily use for social media. And I'm sure that we will include the video for the ships. So
all
this is
that's
also very important. And if I may say, Michael, thank you, Alida and Michael, for I think an amazing webinar. I just want to indicate, and this is something that I was thinking throughout the webinar, that really iWorld of Travel offers so many destinations. And as an evidence of today, you can see that we are not only expert, we really have the expertise to sell and to assist you with any request you have, whether Croatia or the area of the Balkan or Middle East, or Asia, South Africa, and so on and so forth. You really have top professionals who can assist you with full knowledge to any of the destination.
All right, thank you, Zahava. One of the things I wanted to add on top of that will also help you with your presentations. If you have a group that's looking to, that might be interested in this, we'll do the Zoom with you. You know, we'll bring either myself or Alida or Zahava or Sally, our partners, and we'll come on and actually partner with you and provide all the information. And not only does that help you in getting the information to them, but it also allows you to be around it again and hear more about it. So you become more versed in this particular topic. And listen, it's something.
Michael, we have two amazing experts on the call who have been very, very quiet, Dennis and Rose. And I have to say, the agents will know who sailed with us last week. They were with us every step of the way on the FAM. And I was so incredibly impressed meeting these two people. I mean, there is nothing that these two do not know about port operations and Adriatic cruises. Like, you want to feel like you are in the very best of hands. And one of the things that really differentiates iWorld from other companies out there is that Michael encourages agents to go right to the experts, whether it's Alida on our team, whether it's Dennis and Rose who help us with ship operations. We want you guys to have these conversations, and they're there to back you up. I mean, not everybody can be an expert on everything, but it's really nice to know that you've got people like Alida, Dennis, and Rose to have your back every step of the way. So just want to say that that's what makes iWorld a little bit unusual. We encourage these relationships, and we want you to be successful. So we're here to support that any way that we can.
Thank you, Sally, for those nice, kind words. We are so quiet because all of you are doing such a great job in presenting Croatia and our ships. So we are quiet. Thank you.
Yeah, but we're doing the presentation because you have us, right? You held us in your hands and you had us every step of the way. So these are the people that, help us help you become the Croatian experts and look like heroes to your clients. So it's nice
Yes.
to know that you have that backup.
Yeah, thank you, Sally. I really appreciate about your words. I'm speechless when I saw all those knowledge you have already for Croatia, and I'm really grateful about presentation. And definitely, as Michael mentioned, our experience more than 25 years in this kind of business give us opportunity to show you what we can. And of course, as many times I try to explain, the ship is not just a ship like a steel or like a furniture or wood. We are thinking about 50% of that, yes, but 50% is our service. Our service is that the crew, is the food, and everything what we can prepare on the boat. That is main important. We want to be different because our crew is our family, and you probably saw, but maybe somebody in the future will see that mostly owners of the ship are also captain of the ship. That means the family is family business, and we feel like a family in our business. And you have to know also that my partners in my company, in our company, Adriatic Service Travel, partners of the company are ship owners that give us possibility to have high quality of the service in the future.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
There is a couple of new questions I see here in the Q&A. So there was a question asking what is the passenger capacity of each ship. So the smallest one we have is for 30 passengers, and that would be the Adriatic Queen, the one that I mentioned that has an extraordinary chef on board. And then we have the Lastavica with 36 passengers, while the Bella and the King can take up to 41 passengers. Which is the most upscale ship was also the question. So I will answer this to you like this. So the newest ship in our fleet is the Adriatic King. And probably if you would just see the ships, you would say that is the most upscale ship. Because as I said in the beginning, the King Bling, it's a sparkling, new, beautiful yacht. But the Bella is within the same category and within the same price range, just that the Bella is more orientated on saving the environment. It's a green ship, so all the materials that are used to build the Bella are more wood. The colors that are used in the ship are more natural colors. So at first sight, it may not look as sparkling, but it is just as upscale as the Adriatic King. And then you have the Adriatic Queen, and you have the Lastavica that have the same level of service. Absolutely. The difference it is that they're a little bit smaller, so maybe they don't have the swimming pool, they just have the hot tub. So that's the main difference. The cabins are still large, they have the same amenities and all of that. I don't know, Michael or Dennis, if you want to, yes.
Just to mention regarding the Adriatic King. Adriatic King is very special because all cabins are on main deck. That is very good for the groups, because in that case you don't have lower deck and upper deck, and you will not ask your friends, you will go down or somebody will go on the main deck. All cabins on Adriatic Queen are on main deck.
Yes, that's a really good thing. Absolutely. And then, you know, also the chef.
Yeah, the chef. Everyone loves the chef. Listen, all the chefs are good, but this particular one is, I think.
Well, he left an impression.
Yes, he did. Yes, he went with my wife. The thing I wanted to throw out there too, when you look at the ships are really kind of an extension of someone's personal preference as how they live at home. Some people like the high rise overlooking the city. Some people like to be in the country. Some people prefer more natural environment. So the ships really are more indicative of how you know your clients and how you know they typically live and like to travel, whether they go to the Four Seasons or they go to the Ritz, or whether they stay at the Marriott or the DoubleTree. I mean, those kind of different extremes, if you will, because that's going to be their home. That's their home as they're going through the various ports. And that's really the beauty of these ships and why we went on this. We're a land operator, but to us, part of selling land is also the hotel and where the accommodations are. And so to us, this was just another form of accommodation that got them to visit the land. And so it really made sense, and it was really within our lane and why we've gone into it. And we're so grateful that we did, because now we've made two new best friends with Dennis and Rose in our family. And of course, we've created a really special experience that we're really looking forward to bringing for the next 4 or 5, maybe even 10 years. So
you know what, Michael, though, I have to say this to the travel agents out there, and many of the travel agents will understand what I'm saying. Sometimes you have clients that have a particular date, right? So maybe you don't have a choice in the ship. These are the only days that those clients can travel. The good news is there are no bad decisions with these ships. Like, seriously, when we were on them last week, and I'm sure some of the agents can chime in who are on the FAM, there's not a bad decision here. Yes, the ships have a little bit different personality, and yes, they have different routes, but either way, with this destination and these, what Dennis and Rose have done, they have addressed every single detail on these ships. So you're not going to have to worry, about, oh, did we pick the right ship? Because sometimes, the ships make the decisions for you. Sometimes it's what's available, right? But just know there are no wrong answers here. Each one of these ships is unique in its own way, but it's spectacular in its own way. And every single one of the ports, like Michael said, it was like just when you thought it couldn't get any better, the next day we went to a different port and it got even better. So that's the good news here. Recommending these to your clients, you're going to be the heroes.
Yeah, so one of the questions, is there a triple? Yes, there are triple options. I believe the Queen has, one of them has 2 triples, and Dennis or Rose, remind me, which ones have 1 triple option and which ones have 2 triple options?
Costa
2
Rica
triples,
had 2.
2, King 2, and Bella 2.
Okay,
And the Queen 1.
Okay.
Yes.
So those are the options. And listen, we would
Yeah.
say that those are great options for family, not necessarily for 3 adults in one of those cabins,
Yeah.
just to be honest with you.
If I can come in just for 1 second with the families here, in my experience, it's a really great opportunity for couples that have really small kids, like babies, because they can still travel around, be in the same cabin the whole time, have the freedom to go when they want to go. It is also great for kids that are, let's say, big enough to have a separate cabin, right? We can have them one next to the other in 2 doubles with their parents. And, we have Wi-Fi on board all the ships. That is a free Wi-Fi. That's a big thing for kids, in my experience. So it is appropriate for families. I believe here is Sally from, with 20-something years of experience working with families. I would love to hear your 2 cents on this as well, on putting families in different cabins with kids that are big enough.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. The triple cabins I would tend to use those for families of 5, where you can put the kids in the triple and mom and dad across the hall. And when I say across the hall, this is not anything like a mass market cruise ship, none whatsoever. You don't have to worry about balconies. Yes, there are safety, on board, but you always have staff and people around to support you. But I totally agree with you, Alita. As long as the kids are, parents, every parent you need to qualify to know what their expectations are. But if the kids are old enough to sleep by themselves, if mom and dad have a comfort level with that, it's very easy because it is so small. And like for a family reunion group or destination weddings, oh my God, like to have a wedding, party on board the ship. And whether you do the wedding on the ship or when we were in Dubrovnik, I think we must have crashed, 5 or 6, if not more weddings, right, Michael? Like everybody was having weddings in Dubrovnik. And
Yep.
oh my God, you can't imagine the amount of photo ops in any one of these destinations. I mean, the pictures would be absolutely stunning and spectacular. Somebody had asked about connecting cabins. There are no connecting cabins on the ship, but literally you open the door and the cabin across from you is right there. It's perfect for a family.
Yeah,
It is.
and then we have we have about probably 2,000 images we're getting ready to put together, and we'll be sending out there next week in our newsletter to kind of show what the great experience we just had 2 weeks ago with the perfect weather.
Michael.
Yes.
I'm sorry, there is one more question. I mean, we are getting more questions, but there is one that I think would be really interesting to address.
Yeah.
Do you offer kosher food? And I believe you can answer this with the meeting that we had in Croatia and everything.
Well, it's interesting. So kosher, we can all do kosher. I don't know that we can't do it on as a cabin sale, but we could do it as a full charter. And ironically, we had just met with the Minister of Tourism when we were out in Croatia talking about bringing kosher to Croatia. She didn't laugh when I said we need to change the K to a C to a K in Croatia, but she understood what we were trying to do. And we met with one of the leading rabbis in Croatia, as well as another Jewish heritage faith leader, that we can kitchen out with the Mashiga, one of the ships. And what we're looking to do in it is one at the beginning and one at the end, so it doesn't also conflict with any of the Jewish holidays, where the entire ship will be a kosher sailing. So we can talk more about that. If you have any specific questions about that, feel free to reach out to me.
Michael, just to add that next week I will have a meeting with the rabbi in Zagreb and try to reach so much possible information what we need to prepare the kosher food on our cruise, what we plan on the beginning of the season in the end of April and beginning of May.
And not just the kosher, Michael, but I will say any dietary restrictions or requests that your clients may have, if they're gluten-free, if they're vegetarian, whatever the case may be, if you just qualify them and get that information, we can send it off to the chefs prior to departure, and they will work and accommodate your clients with any type of special dietary needs they may have.
Yeah, and we had a number of
right, Sally. Very good note. Yeah,
we had a number of those on our FAM that we were able to. Some people didn't eat fish, some people didn't eat shellfish, and we were able to substitute that out. And then one of the things if the person who asked about the kosher, if you go to our website too, you'll see that we have 2 kosher river cruises that are going off the Danube. So if you have an interest in kosher specific, not only can we do it here, and we're working on that, but you'll also see that we have it on the Danube for June and July departures. There was something about accessibility I thought I saw pop up.
Yes, I was just going to mention it. Yes, are the ships wheelchair or walker accessible?
I will tell you that from my perspective, they're walker accessible. Wheelchair, the challenge you have with some of the cruising is that your ships will dock alongside each other when they're at port, especially during the heavy season. And the ships are designed in a way that when you walk on, you can walk straight to the next opening, to the next opening. So you might have 4 or 5 ships that you just walk straight across to get. Sometimes the connections between the 2 ships wouldn't really support a wheelchair, but they would support somebody who has a walker. And we actually had somebody on our FAM trip a couple of weeks ago that had no issue whatsoever, but was clearly the walker was a permanent tool that she was using. And I think she would tell you that she had an amazing experience. Even went a lot of the walking tours that we did as well, with the exception of a couple that had some big stairs. But yes, so that would be my generic answer. Would that be correct, Dennis and Rhodes? Did I answer that probably as best as possible?
Yes, Michael, you did.
Yeah,
it is suitable for walker, but not so much for wheelchairs.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they dock up like those of you who are familiar with river cruises, how they dock alongside and you have to walk through one ship to the next. It's very similar. There were some ports where we were the only ship docked, and there were other ports where there were several ships. So it just depends. We have one question about wine and cocktails, and I know we do have a cash bar on board the ships, but
Of course.
can customers or can like maybe wine with dinner or something be built into their itinerary at an additional cost?
So this is what I would suggest. We have that question. We've had a couple of questions come up about this. One is, can we do a drinks package, right, where it's an all-inclusive? That we don't do that on these. The challenge is that whenever someone's looking for that, they're looking because they're big drinkers, and we want to make sure that we're supportive of the owner, the captain, and the crew, and that this is a winning proposition for them. However, one of the suggestions that came up while we were on the FAM is that even in your model, your financial model, if you're doing the full charter, you can build into your price point maybe a $50 or $100 ship credit that could be used for drinks, so that whoever's coming on, or your clients, it's like you got 40 passengers, but each one of them might have a $50 credit that would cover a drink, for their lunch and for the 2 dinners, or if you want to do it 100. So that would be the way to kind of address that. What I thought was a very creative approach to it.
But also I have to come in just to say that the prices in Croatia are way below what you guys are used on maybe paying on big cruise ships. It's not that expensive, right? So Dennis, can you give an approximate of the prices, or Rose? I don't remember exactly, but I feel like a glass of wine was around the $2.50 or $3, something like that.
I think everything ranged between $3 and $5 at the most.
Yes.
Yeah. Very reasonable. And it depends if we're using the local wines, if someone wants a local wine, or if they want a higher end wine. So we can also address that, as Alita, ahead of time. If they're chartering the ship and they have a high end client and they want to have a specific liquor on there, we can certainly go to Dennis and Rose and see if that's available to be stocked for that specific request, and then of course those would be priced accordingly.
Here, there, I will read a comment that we got from Patricia. Patricia was with us on the FAM. She said, I had wine glasses for the whole week and only spent $75. So that is a really good comment. Thank you, yes. Patricia.
Very good.
All right.
There's a question that came in about if they wanted more training or more help in selling the cruises or Croatia. How could they reach out?
You can reach out to anybody on the team. You can start with Alita, myself, Zahava, any one of us are more than happy to not only work with you one-on-one, but if you have a couple of clients, as we mentioned, that you think might be of interest, or if you want to set up an evening where you have some potential clients coming in and we can zoom in and we can do the entire presentation for you. We are here to serve you. Whatever we can do to help. Again, remember, our philosophy as a company is very simple. We feel you as a travel advisor are doing all the work. You're out there, you're generating the leads, you're working with your clients, you're generating the interest and getting them interested in wanting to take a trip. The least we can do is to be able to provide you all the support and the tools to help you to secure the sale. And that's really what we're about. That's really part of the reason why, the legacy of what we're carrying forward with this company for 50 some odd years is that we are 100% committed to the travel advisor. And we've taken that since my father's passing and gone to the next level, which is we will do anything and everything to support your sales funnel, your pipeline, if you will, to be able to generate sales. You're doing all the work. To me, it's very simple. I came from outside the industry. And so I look at this as a real simple equation. You're out there doing all the sales, you're generating the leads, you're handling all the hustle. The least we can do is provide you all the tools to be able to succeed. And whether that's education, collateral, marketing, in-person presentations, whatever it is, we want to be for you what it is you are for your clients, and we do it with pleasure. I see a couple of comments coming up there. I think, listen, our company philosophy is a little bit different, I think, because we've always recognized the value of the travel advisor. And I said this a little bit of a joke on when we were on the fam trip. I said, my wife originally would come to me and say, hey, I love it. Can you please bring me flowers? And I would say, honey, you just ruined it for both of us. You've taken away the idea that I come up with it on my own and do it for you, and that you get surprised. And so for us, what's happened in the last 2 years with COVID, for some reason, so many operators and other companies are starting to go, oh, wow, the advisor, they're really important. You've been important to us since 1967. And that's never going to change. And for the last 54 years, the advisors have been the most important thing to us. And for the next 54 years, you can be assured. And whatever it is we can do, that's what we're here to do. Anything else on there, Shane, that we wanted, any comments, any questions?
Michael, we had a question about how do we organize payments? Getting payment to you.
To us, well, so with us, it's either a check or a wire, because we're giving you a net on the charter. We're giving you a net rate on that. So that's how we take it. Checks are fine for us. I know that sounds old school. We do wiring platform too. We work with Veeam. As I mentioned to you, we do, we pay commission on deposits once they reach 500, and we pay everything within 72 hours, and we wire it straight to your account or the host agency account. So we're very supportive, and the same thing on that. And now again, if we're doing cabin sales or you're doing FIT or anything else with us, we handle all those payments for you on anything that we're paying you commission on. But anything that's a net to you, you would pay us in a check or a wire. Anything else on there? Everybody there?
Yeah, that was all the questions that come in. I was just double checking to see if anything.
Okay. I thought there was one. I saw, who did I see? I saw a little comment that came from Ali, I think it was. I will just say, do it. I was so nervous to commit, and honestly, this has been a breeze to sell. The demand for this product and destination right now are tremendous. Thank you very much, Ali, for that comment. And I will tell you that Ali is part of a group of 4 agents that have taken 4 charters on the same date, and they did exceptionally well in selling that out in a very short order. So they're very impressive what they did.
Michael, there was also a question, I can take it. It was a question about the themed cruise with wine, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I can't find it anymore. Yes,
yeah, I saw that come up. I did see that come up about the theme. Let me answer them in. I see a question about, I understand, do you know credit card as payment from clients? If you're doing a net with us, that's with that credit card. If you need us to help you with accepting credit card payments on your behalf, on a full charter on a net, we'll do it, but there's going to be a 4% credit card fee for that. Again, but in general, if you're just booking with us as a cabin or an FIT, not a full charter, we take credit card payments, yes, for all your clients. Everything is credit card payments, no problem. I was only talking about wire or checks when you're getting a net rate from us and we're not paying you commission. So when we do a net rate, you're collecting payment and then you pay us direct. When we're paying you commission, we're collecting the payments for you on your behalf, and we're cutting the commission back. In terms of themed cruise, I love that idea. And I've talked about either working with someone who wants to charter and create a theme, or maybe we will come up with our own themed one at some point. I'm not sure about 2022, but maybe as we go into 2023, because of the demand right now is already so high for these ships. I came from the events background business. I had a winery and some restaurants and the event center. So I'm all in on theme cruises. We used to have an underground dinner club called the Gypsy Hotel that was all about featuring 5-course meals at random pop-up locations. And I've talked to the team about trying to create something along these lines. So if you are interested in having us work with you on that for your own charter or other ideas, I would say reach out to me directly. And I'm happy to talk to you about that. And my email is very simple. It's mgelber@iworldoftravel.com. All of us is our first initial last name at iworldoftravel.com. Yeah, the club with the photographers, that would be an amazing idea as well. The pictures.
Yeah, Pat Hand did that, Michael, right? Sure, Pat Hand does her photography cruises, and her photographers absolutely love Croatia.
Really fan. And again, we're going to send out, imagine everybody here is already registered on our website, is already signed up for our newsletters. So within the next, we have a blog coming out next week on one of our team members who does all of our editing and crafting for us. She works with National Geographic. She was on the cruise and is finally finishing up her own personal blog of the experience. So that'll be coming out. And then following that, we'll be sharing a lot of the images and the experiences that the agents, the advisors that we had on our FAM with some of their quotes and some of their feedback and experiences. So we'll have that out for you to be able to capitalize on. And again, we can create any collateral for you with any of the images that we have. We have a full library. Just ask our team. It's either Shane or Ante, and you'll see their information. They can post it on the chat what their email addresses are. We're here to help, whatever we can do. Okay, I think we're at the end of our presentation. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Alita, that was a great presentation, great information. Sally, appreciate all the input that you provided. And Dennis and Rose, I mean, I can't thank you enough for the partnership that we have with you and for your support, and never saying no, but just saying, let me see if we can. Every single time. I never get a direct no from you guys, and we love that. And I know our advisors love that. And we are looking forward to growing our friendship and as well as business as we take on this new endeavor. So again, everybody, thank you very much. It's been a great webinar. This will be coming out to you in a recording within the next 48 hours, and then will be posted on our website as well. Have a great Tuesday and have a great balance of the week.
Thanks, everyone.